When people hear vintage Pokemon, they usually hear $1,000 Charizards, Neo Genesis Lugia, cards locked in high-grade PSA slabs.
Boo PSA.
But vintage Pokemon collecting doesn't have to start with a 4-figure budget. There are still cards from WotC that feature popular Pokemon, memorable artwork, genuine hobby history, and prices that start below $10. And today we're counting down 10 affordable vintage Pokemon cards that are actually worth something. So before we start, these are TCG market prices for, if applicable, unlimited, not first edition printings. Market price is also tabulated from the most recent sale, so it does not guarantee a near mint copy is going to be available at that exact moment. So use these market prices that we're going to talk about as a benchmark, and definitely inspect a card before you decide to buy. Starting at number 10 is the Mew number 8 WotC Black Star promo. We're starting with one of the cheapest, most recognizable vintage Pokemon cards you can buy. Mew is non-holographic. It's a WotC promo featuring the classic artwork associated with the Pokemon League at the time. This is not a super rare card. Large numbers of these have entered the hobby, which is precisely kind of why it's so affordable. But for under $10, you're getting an original Wizards of the Coast promo. This is one of the more popular and mythical legendary mons. It's classic artwork by Ken Sugimori. It's a card connected directly to the early years of Pokemon within North America. I would not buy this card expecting explosive investment growth. This is not a spec play. The supply is too large for that to be part of that prediction. And as an inexpensive piece of Pokemon history, it's difficult to beat. Number 9, we got Dark Dragonair from Team Rocket. Its current unlimited market price reference is around $7. Dark Dragonair comes from the OG Team Rocket expansion released in 2000. This card is an uncommon card rather than a rare holo, but its appeal is obvious. Dragonair is highly collectible. Team Rocket remains one of the most recognizable vintage expansions, and the darker artwork gives the card a visual identity separate from the ordinary versions of Dragonair. Alright, now this is the non-holographic Scizor from Neo Discovery, and I know some collectors immediately dismiss vintage non-holos, but I think that's a mistake, especially when Pokemon is as popular as Scizor. Neo Discovery introduced several Johto mons in the English TCG, and includes some of the most recognizable mons such as Umbreon, Espeon, Tyranitar, and Scizor. The holo version of this card is substantially more expensive. This non-holo gives you the same mon, the same identity, and similar artwork appeal at a fraction of the cost. Alright, number 7, Eevee WotC Black Star promo. This is the promotional card where the list begins moving beyond basic binder filler. Eevee has become one of the strongest collectible mons in the entire franchise because every generation of collectors can connect to a favorite evolution. Great marketing, Pokemon. The WotC promo also has distinctive holographic presentation that makes it a better display than its sub $20 price might suggest. The major concern is condition. The holo surface can show scratches, and the back edges most of the time has whitening. That means the difference between an average copy and a clean copy can be significant. Number 6, one of my favorites, Ancient Mew, the Pokemon movie promo. Sitting at around a market price of over $30, Ancient Mew may be one of the most recognizable promo cards in Pokemon history. It was distributed in connection with the Pokemon movie in 2000 and was intentionally designed to look mysterious, using unusual symbols that you would need to decipher instead of conventional English. For many collectors, this card is pure nostalgia. They remember receiving it at the theater, opening the promo wrapper, and seeing it packed passed around at school the very next day. Sealed and unsealed copies still circulate in meaningful numbers, but not rare does not mean it's not collectible. This card has history, has a unique design, it has broad recognition and appeal beyond just hardcore TCG collectors. It gives it a much stronger identity than a random vintage card that's being presented throughout even this video. Alright, so number 5, Light Vaporeon Neo Destiny. Light Vaporeon is not holographic, but it checks several collector boxes at once. It comes from a Neo series set release. It's an evolution, and it belongs in the light Pokemon subset, which gave familiar Mons a completely different personality from the dark Mons of Team Rocket and Neo Destiny. The artwork is calm, colorful, showing Vaporeon in a more peaceful setting than some of the more battle-focused cards. And Neo Destiny is one of the more desirable WotC era expansions. The set contains shiny Mons, dark Mons, light Mons, and multiple cards that become vintage chases. Now we have a familiar card coming back. It's Light Dragonair at approximately $40. It's another non-holographic Neo Destiny, but it has developed a substantial collector following. The artwork is the main reason. Dragonair is shown surrounded by light and color, creating one of the more elegant presentations of the Pokemon WotC era. This card benefits from several overlapping collector groups. You have Dragonair collectors, Dragonite Evolution line collectors, Neo Destiny collectors, light Pokemon collectors, vintage collectors, and just master set collectors. The first edition copies considerably more expensive, while unlimited copies still remain accessible. Number 3, let's welcome back Scizor, number 10 in Neo Discovery, and it is in holo. At roughly $50, it costs substantially more than the non-holo version discussed earlier in the video, but you're stepping into a completely different level of presentation and collectability. Vintage Neo Holos are notoriously condition sensitive. Holofoils can scratch, dark borders and backs expose whitening, print lines and surface damage can prevent an otherwise attractive copy from earning a high grade, and that is why I would not blindly buy this card just based off of a near mint label. If you're looking to grade, ask for photographs, check holos under the light, look closely at the back edges. A genuinely clean copy is far more desirable than the average raw. Number 2, we got Forretress Neo Discovery. This card's over $50, and it's not one of the most popular Mons, but it's one of the purest examples of affordable vintage holo collecting. For over $50, you receive an original Neo Discovery holo card from 2001. That's 25 years. And the reason it remains cheaper than Umbreon, Espeon, Tyranitar, even Houndoom is it's kind of straightforward. It does not have the same character demand. And coming in at number 1 is Venusaur number 13, the WOTC Black Star promo, currently sitting at over $60. This is my number 1 choice within this list. This card features one of the original Kanto starters in a promo design that stands apart from base set Venusaur. And compared with many vintage cards like Blastoise and Charizard, a Venusaur card at this market price still seems accessible. The artwork is colorful and immediately recognizable. The WOTC promo identity gives it direct ties to the earliest eras of the TCG, and Venusaur has a much stronger long-term character recognition than several other similarly priced vintage cards. If I had $100 to spend, I would not automatically buy the most expensive card. I would choose one of 3 approaches. For maximum nostalgia, maybe go for Ancient Mew, the Mew promo, and maybe 1 or 2 of the inexpensive Team Rocket cards. Now for artwork, I'd probably go for Dragonair or Vaporeon in the light versions, or for a more traditional vintage holo, If you're looking for that, I would search for the cleanest Scizor or Forretress I could find. Vintage Pokemon is no longer broadly cheap. Many of the obvious bargains disappeared years ago, unfortunately, but affordable cards still exist when you look beyond the Zards, the Lugias, the Umbreons, the Gold Stars, and first edition cards. Promotional cards, non-holo, neo rares, light mons, and overlooked vintage holos can still offer a genuine history and collector appeal without requiring a huge budget. Just remember that inexpensive cards does not automatically mean undervalued. Buy cards because they have artwork, Pokemon, or sets or history that are likely continued to be cared about. And most importantly, buy the card, not the condition label. Now, which affordable vintage Pokemon card would you buy from this list? Would you choose several inexpensive promos or spend the entire budget on one clean vintage? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy Pokemon collecting and market analysis grounded in current prices, subscribe for more videos just like this. I'll catch you guys next time.